Main thing to do is that one big play, and they get their big points and their big drives on the big play.
Well, we haven't really seen them throw the ball that much either, and when they have, it has gone for that big play, Greg. We watched 2 weeks ago in the Westlake homecoming game. They only threw 3 times, and one of them was for a touchdown, 68-yard touchdown pass.
Okay, we're ready to start the action here. It gets the kick off along the ground. Picked up by Shaw, and Shaw is immediately brought down at the 36-yard line of play. In on the tackle for Westlake was number 26, Harry Hedgen. So 1st and 10 for Westlake at their own 31-yard line of play.
Paul Aguilar will come out the quarterback, the T.O. Lancers, as he had most of the season this year. Mitch Black was their starting quarterback at the beginning of the season. Aguilar has taken over for the rest.
So ready to start here, 1st and 10. Hands off up the middle to number 44, who is Bill Shaw. Shaw gets about 3 yards on the play, 2nd and 7.
So T.O. going right up the middle in the first play. Both these teams like to run a lot, so you should see a lot of running tonight. There's a shot of Coach George Gutierrez looking for his first league championship in his 4 years as head coach at Westlake.
So 2nd and 7. As Aguilar is back to pass, looking downfield, and the pass is complete. The receiver on the play was number 91, Steve Hamilton. It's incomplete. One of the referees signaled complete, but the pass was incomplete. Good defensive coverage on the play, Jim.
Very big defensive play. The receiver was hit the second he got the ball, and that's why that play did not work. Aguilar with a good throw right on the money.
So 3rd and 7. Hands off up the middle to Caney. What happened on that play was it was a reverse play to the left side. They tried a little razzle-dazzle. Caney got about 3 yards on the play. Bring up a 4th and 4 for the Lancers.
That was a big defensive play by Jamie McNeil. And, of course, you see McNeil on offense also their starting running back. McNeil with a very, very big tackle there. We have a 4th quarter punting situation coming up now for Thousand Oaks.
And Rick Franks is back to punt for the Lancers. Jamie McNeil is back to receive. Takes it up the sidelines and gets to about the 41-yard line. That was not McNeil, that was Bakos. Takes the ball up to the 41-yard line, where the Warriors will start in pretty decent field position, 1st and 10.
What Chopman has to do, the starting quarterback, Steve Chop, he's been their quarterback all year. When he has had thrown the ball, he's thrown it very successful, Greg, but he likes to keep the ball on the ground. That's Westlake's strategy.
So 1st and 10 for Westlake. We'll have to see what they can do with the ball. They have a little better field position as the ball is handed up the middle. Joe Iverson, the ball carrier. Tackle on the play was made by Eric Caney. Also in on the tackle was Tody Adamski. Gain of 5 on the play, 2nd and 5.
Iverson will run the ball quite a bit. Iverson and McNeil are the workhorses for the Warriors on offense. You'll hear their names called quite a bit tonight.
So 2nd and 5 for the Warriors at the 45-yard line. Jamin McNeil, the ball carrier, straight up the middle. Might have got a yard or two before he was finally brought down by number 70, who is Lang.
He had a good shot there right before. Jamie McNeil, number 31, scored 4 touchdowns on homecoming day 2 weeks ago for Westlake. Jamie McNeil, one of the premier runners in the Marmoni League.
3rd and 4 for the Warriors. Handoff goes to Jamin McNeil, and he is close to that first down.
He might be short by about a half a yard, it looks like, and it's going to be short.
Tackle on the play by Brian Lorenz.
It's going to be short for a full yard. And to get to about the 50-yard line, Greg, and it's going to be spotted on the 49. So
4th and 2. Lavin into punt. Gets a low line drive kickoff. And it's marked dead about the yard line to play, where the Lancers will take over.
So neither team really doing anything on offense in their first series, Craig. 3 downs, and they have come up short, both teams, so we're starting all over again. Let's see if T.O. can get something started on offense, their second series.
So Thousand Oaks will have the ball at their own 27-yard line to play, 1st and 10. Handoff goes up the middle to Shaw, and Shaw is brought down by that interior of the Westlake line. In the tackle was Slavin, along with number 58, who is John Wiseman. Gain of 2 on the play.
They have an excellent defense in Westlake, one of the best defenses around. 2 weeks ago, they boasted only 6 points scored against them per game, but that's gone up quite a bit lately. Now we got a penalty or what, Greg?
Looks like some kind of something's wrong out there.
I think the markage of the ball, maybe. Watching the referee right now. Okay, maybe an equipment problem. That's what it is. You see right now in the TO huddle, referee working on the... There's one of the cheerleading section.
That's a better shot, I think.
Yeah, I like that. Big crowd on hand tonight. Especially on this Westlake side. The entire stands are filled.
2nd and 8. Aguilar's going to keep it for himself, and he has a pretty good success on that play as he's tackled by number 43, Bill Fiender.
A 3rd down coming up now, about a 3rd and 3 or 2.5 maybe.
They're going to call it 3rd and 3. As this is a very big down. They will have to do something here if they want to retain that ball, and more importantly, get their first down of the game. Aguilar hands off up the middle to Shaw, and he does not have that 1st down. It's going to be very close, but I don't think he has it, Jim.
No, he doesn't. The TO punting squad is coming onto the team right now. Great defense by Westlake. We have talked about them all year long, about that swarming, quick defense of Westlake. They have given up they have not played like they had the last 2 games, giving up 28 points and 14 points. That's more than what they usually been giving up. Maybe they can come on strong in this big league championship game.
So Franks is back to punt, gets a pretty good snap, and gets a nice punt off to Bakos. Bakos is going to let it bounce, and it will be marked dead at the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Warriors at their own 25-yard line to play. And what do you think this offense of Westlake will have to do against this TO?
Well, they're going to play conservative. You know that. That's what they've done all year. You might see Chop throw an occasional pass once every 10 plays. They're just going to have to play the same way they have all year. It's been working, especially the last 2 games where they put the points on the board. See what Steve comes out doing here.
1st and 10 for Steve Chop as he hands off to the side to Scott Winkler. And the play is well read. In on the tackle was Tim Lasik, and also number 64, who is Trevor Richmond. Gain of 1 on the play, 2nd and 9. That was a good read by the Thousand Oaks defense.
Oh, we've talked so much about the Westlake defense. Let's talk a little bit about the Thousand Oaks defense. They have played great in Marmoni League contests games so far this year. That's one reason why they're only a game out of 1st place.
And of course, they've got the kicker, Darren Libanati. And this game might depend on that kicker. As the ball is handed off once again to Winkler. Winkler breaks a few tackles. He's getting up the sidelines and gets up to about the 43-yard line before he's brought down by Tody Adamski.
Well, that's the big play you talked about, Greg, where a tackler will miss, or a tackler will miss a player in the backfield, and suddenly he'll break through for the touchdown. Almost happened there. Winkler looked like he was going to be dropped to the backfield, got through and got the 1st down, the initial 1st down in this game.
And Thousand Oaks cannot afford to miss tackles like that. 1st and 10, the first down for Westlake in the ball game. 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line. McNeil, Jamin McNeil up the middle, or it's Joe Iverson, excuse me. Joe Iverson carrying the ball up the middle. In on the tackle was Jim Colvin for the Lancers. Gain of about 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
4 minutes and 50 seconds up to go here in the 1st quarter. No score if you just joined. Here's a shot of the Westlake bench and Coach George Contreras. You know, he is really into this game tonight.
So 2nd and 6 for Steve Chop, who is going to keep it himself. And Chop gets a good, decent run. And more importantly, he gets that first down. And he gets into Lancer territory. He gets all the way to the Lancer 47-yard line. And we've talked about Steve Chop's running before.
That's right. Steve Chop is an excellent runner. He showed it there. The reason why that play worked is because he read the hole. Now it's a quarterback keeper all the way, a fake up the middle. Then Chop has to read where that hole is, where the linebacker cut in. Chop read it perfectly, got the 10 yards in the first down.
So 1st and 10 in Lancer territory at the 47-yard line for the Warriors. And Chop's going to pass. He's got Winkler up the middle. And Winkler's going to go all the way for the Westlake touchdown. So there again is your big play, Jim.
The big play. Scored in that same exact play twice on homecoming night. And they did it here. They set that pass up with the run, Greg. You set the pass up with the run. They run every play. Run, 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 run. Run up the middle. Fake the handoff. That time was a play-action pass. They faked the handoff up the middle. McNeil. All Chop had to do was drop back, and Winkler was wide open over the middle. There wasn't a TO defender within 10 yards of him.
So Westlake is the first to score rather handily here. And John Puckett's kick is up and good. So with 4:04 remaining in this first quarter of play, Westlake puts 7 points on the board. So 7-0 is the score in favor of Westlake.
Now, what the amazing thing, you want to look at stats right now, Greg. You look at Steve's Chop stats. He is 1 for 1, 1 touchdown, and it was over 40 yards. So he has thrown over 40 yards, but only 1 pass, and he's got 1 touchdown of it. That's the way Steve Chop works. And Contreras right there on your screen, you see him. He knows his Chop's ability and the way he likes to use him to throw the ball, and they used it perfectly that time.
So that big play once again from Chop to Winkler. And you knew that Winkler was wide open on that play. I mean, he had every defender beaten by 5 yards. So Puckett is ready to kick off. Gets one of those low kicks off again. And it's fumbled. Picked up by Hamlin. And Hamlin gets up to the, well, let's see, about the 36-yard line. Steve Hamilton was the ball carrier. And Hamilton is one of those guys you don't want to have receive the kickoff.
Exactly. His shoulder right there popped off his shoulder pads. But he did a smart thing, and that was keep the ball and made some yardage out of it. So you got to give Hamilton some credit.
Aguilar's going to keep it himself. Or it was Shaw on the play. Excuse me, Bill Shaw, the ball carrier. Gain of about 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 for the Lancers.
This is a big series for TO. They're going to have to come out and do something very, very big right now, or they just might lose control of this game very early. The Westlake offense has played good the last 3 games.
Thousand Oaks might have to pass a little bit to get back in this ball game. As Jim Riding was a ball carrier. Gain of about 3 on the play. Well, they're going to give him 2. So 3rd and 5 for the Lancers. And this is a big down for the Lancers.
Another 3rd down situation for TL, their 3rd of the game. They have yet to convert. Very, very big 3rd down for them, psychologically, too.
Let's see what Aguilar will do on this set of downs. As he's back to pass, he's got his receiver downfield, who is Franks, and Franks catches the ball. Nice catch by Franks, who was well covered on the play by number 43, Bill Fiander.
Yeah, that was very good coverage by Bill Fiander there. Franks had to leap high and make a good grab. It looked like a little stickum on his fingers. Aguilar threw it. The only place he could throw it for the completion is hoping that Franks could come up with a big catch. And it was executed perfectly.
So 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line for Thousand Oaks. They tried to fake a few people out as Bill Shaw was the ball carrier. Tackle on the play was made by number 58, Jim Wiseman.
Second down coming up right now, Greg.
2nd and 9.
There you see the Thousand Oaks huddle. Aguilar with his green helmet on. I'll explain to you what that green helmet means later.
So 2nd and 9 for the Lancers. As Aguilar is going to back to pass. Now he's going to keep it for himself. And he is really hit hard in there. Gained about 5 yards on the play, but Craig Slavin and a few other Warrior defenders just gave him heck in there. They really hit him hard on that play, Jim.
That green helmet, by the way, on Aguilar, it's the symbol of desire. And it's mostly worn by defensive players. Of course, it's only for defensive players. Aguilar is a defensive back, his normal position, but forced him to quarterback this year when Mitch Black got hurt. So you look at the finest defensive players not playing quarterback for T.O.
And Aguilar is in trouble again in the backfield, and he is sacked on the play by Bill Feander and Craig Slavin. There is a penalty flag. It might be a little bit of roughing on Westlake's part, roughing of Aguilar.
It could be. It looked like he was hit after he was down, a little rough in the unnecessary roughness. Although you got to give Westlake a lot of credit in the backfield. The coverage was excellent. It's going to be holding. Or is it holding or not? There's Contreras. You see him shaking his head. He does not like that call whatsoever. Going to have a
personal foul, roughing the quarterback will be the call against Westlake.
That's too bad because Westlake made a good defensive play there, sacking the quarterback, plus good defensive coverage. Nobody was open for Aguilar to throw it to. So a mental mistake cost Westlake here.
So 1st and 10, and Thousand Oaks got a big break, as Jim was saying. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Aguilar's back. He's got Franks upfield, and Franks is immediately brought down at the 23-yard line. In on the tackle was John Martin.
Great pass that time by Aguilar. Had to move to his left side. Hard for a right-handed quarterback to do that, but threw a strike right to Franks.
That was a nicely thrown pass.
Very, very good thrown pass. So Aguilar throwing, he can do a lot. Besides just run the ball, he can throw it too. An all-around athlete. Paul Aguilar, number 11.
You'll probably have to see more passing in this game, as that's the end of the first quarter with the score Westlake 7 and Thousand Oaks nothing. So as I was saying before, Jim, you might have to see more passing out of Thousand Oaks. Their running game is not that effective against this defense.
Well, the defense is successful on Westlake because they're a swarmy defense. They have very, very quick linebackers. When you got quick linebackers, it's very hard to pass, or excuse me, run against. And that's what they've shown today. T.O. has not been successful at all on the ground, but Aguilar has been throwing the ball. They've been getting the yardage, so maybe that might be a clue right now to T.O. and Coach Bob Usella who want to throw the ball. There you see Aguilar right there looking to his sidelines and also to the referee when to start out. A very, very cold day here at Thousand Oaks, Greg. And I don't know if that might affect the passing situation whatsoever. Ball thrown hard or the nice crisp hands for the receivers. The ball hits, it might sting. We'll have to wait and see when the cold does take effect later on, maybe the 3rd or 4th quarter.
Now, when you say cold, do you mean cold? I mean, it's probably about 40 degrees out here.
That's what it seems like right now.
Especially with that wind chill factor, as you see the Thousand Oaks High School starting lineup. Paul Aguilar at quarterback and Jim Riding in the backfield. 2nd and 1, and the ball is given to Shaw, and Shaw might have that first down as he's brought down by Slavin, and Bill Feander. Also in on the tackle was Dave Bailey, and he gets that first down, Jim.
Well, Thousand Oaks now has a drive themselves going, trying to tie this game up. Westlake leads at 7-0, and Thousand Oaks trying to come back and tie it up. The ball is on the 21-yard line. So a very impressive drive being issued here now by Thousand Oaks.
So 1st and 10 for Westlake, or for Thousand Oaks, at their own, or at the Westlake 21-yard line. I'll get it right one of these times. And the ball is handed off to Shaw, who fumbles on the play. Or Aguilar kept it himself. Excuse me, I'm getting a little faked out up here. Aguilar kept it himself. Got about 6 yards on the play, so 2nd and 4 the situation.
Aguilar with a nice play again. He faked the handoff up the middle, then read the play. There's the Westlake starting defense shown up there. They're led. Steve Bagley, one of the top, Craig Slavin also. Craig Slavin is the top tackler for Westlake. He's also one of their team captains.
So 2nd and 4 for Thousand Oaks. Deep in Westlake territory. Bill Shaw gets the carry, and he goes up the middle, and there's a fumble on the play. And Westlake recovers the ball. Recovering the fumble for Westlake was John Martin. So that is a big break for Westlake, as Thousand Oaks had a nice drive going.
Looked like they were going to score, too. They were going all the way in. They had a nice run that time, but the fumble is going to cost them. You see a very relieved coach, George McPherson, right there. Wow.
So that turns the tables a little bit.
Football games are won on turnovers, and who capitalizes on turnovers? Right now, Westlake capitalizes no matter what because TO's not going to be able to score.
1st and 10 for Westlake. As the ball is given to number 23, who is Scott Winkler. And Winkler gets about 3 yards on the play, so 2nd and 7 for Westlake, as Steve Chops waits for his play to come in.
Two of the finest teams in the Marmont League squaring off here tonight. I hope you're enjoying this game. 10 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Westlake leads at 7-0.
But don't count TO out of this one. They're still in this one. They had a sustaining drive, but it was broken up by a fumble. Joe Iverson, the ball carrier. Tackle on the play was made by number 64, Trevor Richmond. Gain of about 1 on the play. 3rd and 6.
There you see Contreras right there. I don't know if that's a shuttle man he's talking to. It is a shuttle man, number 34. Dave Bacos. He is a shuttle man. Giving Steve Chomp the play. You better watch out right now. There could be a get charged with the game. Only 25 seconds in high school compared to 30 seconds in pro.
And they're up to that line awfully quickly. They'll get the play off. Chop calling long signals. No, they did. Chop called extra long signals on that play, too.
That's not the type of play you want to go on the count of 3 or 4. You want to go on sound right away. And it's too bad because I got a feeling the clock beat him by about a half a second, because as soon as the ball was snapped, the flag went up. So the delay of game called. Talk about a game as inches. It's also a game of seconds. There you see the referee right there. Delay a game against Westlake, so that would cost him 5 yards.
So 3rd and 12. Well, that's going to be 3rd and 11 because they marked half the distance to the goal line. So 3rd and 11 at the 4-yard line.
We're going to have to hurry.
Westlake.
We're going to have to hurry again. Dan Sipperman was late in coming with the play.
Referee looking at his clock. They get the play off, and Chop's going to keep it himself, and he's brought down by that interior of the Thousand Oaks line. In on the tackle for the Lancers was Tody Adamski.
I think what Westlake was going to do there, Greg, was just try to move it up just enough to give their field goal or their punter some room there to punt the ball out of the way. The Lancers now are going to have great field position. They're deep in right there. You see them. They're on Westlake's 40-yard line.
And Alvaro Lavin is in the punt, standing in his own end zone. Tyndall and Writing are back to receive, and the punt goes over Writing's head. He's going to pick it up at the 40. He's up to the 45 and finally brought down in Lancer territory at the 48-yard line of play.
Writing made a poor judgment there. There was a low liner, and if he would just move back steps right away, he would have got a big gainer out of that. Instead, Greg, he moved up too early and let the ball sail off his head. Sort of like an outfielder misjudging a fly ball. That's what happened there. That's going to cost Thousand Oaks good field position. Actually, they're in good field position right now, but better field position, should I say.
They are in their own territory at their own 48-yard line. Back to pass. And he throws up the middle to number 90, who is UC Letu. You might have seen a fumble on the play, but that was called dead. But there was a penalty flag on the field.
It was snapped right at the. There we got the call coming up right now. At the say it was snapped right when the throw as soon as the snap was made. We're talking to Westlake, so I got a feeling it's going to be against Thousand Oaks. Here it is.
Illegal procedure is
declined.
And it's declined, yeah.
So they're going to take the down instead of the yardage. Well, Coach, what do you say?
I think that's a smart call because Thousand Oaks has not been moving the ball that well on this drive. So 2nd and 10. As you can remember, they probably would have punted the ball away last time, except for that penalty. Personal foul against Westlake for roughing the quarterback. So 2nd and 10. Aguilar's back to pass, and he's in trouble. And he's brought down on the play by number 58, John Weissman. So Weissman brings Aguilar down for a loss, and that's turning out to be a pretty good coaching decision.
Right now, he has a big 3rd down coming up now, 3rd and long yardage, but Aguilar had no chance whatsoever that time. There were white jerseys all over him. He tried to get around one. He escaped from one player, then finally was brought down for a loss on the play. 3rd and 16. There you see Aguilar right there. And they want this 1st down, Greg. They want to get this. They're going to go for it, I got a feeling.
So 3rd and 16 for the Lancers. And you can bet that Aguilar's arm will be in the air. Back to pass. He's got Franks, but the pass is just a little bit short. Franks was also well covered by Jamin McNeil on the play. So the Lancers will have to punt the ball away.
A curling pattern that time by Franks, and the idea of that pass is to be thrown before Franks curls in, which exactly Aguilar did, but the only problem with that pass was it was way too low. Franks had to come back and dive after the ball, and it kind of short-hopped him. The pass fell incomplete.
So Rick Franks will be standing at his own 30-yard line to punt the ball deep to Dave Bakos. He gets a line drive punt off, not too good of a punt, but it's going to get a pretty good bounce, and it's going to be marked dead at the 20-yard line.
Boy, did he get a bounce.
The punt wasn't that good in the air, but it got a pretty good bounce.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a very short punt. It looked like Westlake was going to get good field position, but he got the bounce, and you see George Contreras there right now. Big day in his life tonight.
Of course, he considers this rival just as much as Newbury Park is his rival.
That's true. Well, this is for the league championship, though.
Big rivals in Thousand Oaks. So it's a rival and it's a league championship. So big game as Jamin McNeil carries the ball, and he's brought down by Tony Adamski. He gets about 4 yards on the play. 2nd and 6.
Greg, you talk about rivalries. You know about it more than I do, and that has to do with then T.O. was the original high school, and then I guess when Westlake was open, people branched off to Westlake, and the same for Newbury Park. So how it happened? I'm not sure. I'm not from this area.
Well, Newbury Park's been around a long time, but you're right about Thousand Oaks and Westlake. They branched off, and Westlake's been around for about 5 or 6 years. As Chop is back to pass. And the southpaw gets a good pass off, but it goes in and out of the hands of Steve Bagley. If Bagley would have had that, he might have gone in for the touchdown, although he was well covered. Covering on the play for the Lancers was Eric Caney and Mark Tyndall.
Well, the old cliche, hit him in the hands, didn't really work that time. That ball was thrown right into the hands of Bagley. He just simply dropped the ball. Perfect pass thrown that time by Chop.
So still 3rd and 6 for the Warriors, who are at their own 29-yard line. And the ball is reversed from McNeil to Winkler. And what happened on that play was handed the ball off inside to Winkler, and Winkler got the 1st down on the play, Jim.
It's a double reverse, but instead of the second reverse going outside, they go inside. They ran that quite a bit 2 weeks ago. In fact, one time they ran it, I went for a touchdown. So this time it goes for the 1st down. I like that. They'll show it a couple more times tonight. A double reverse inside instead of outside. Don't see that very often in football.
And it's probably one of George Contreras' own recipes out there. And the ball goes to Iverson, who is brought down by Brian Lorenz. Gain of about 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 for the Warriors.
So 5 minutes and 18 seconds up to go here in the 1st half. Westlake leads 7-0, and they're moving the ball once again.
So the Thousand Oaks defense has to be concerned right now. Goes to Winkler, and Winkler's got a first down and a little bit more as he's finally brought down at the 40 or the 49-yard line of Thousand Oaks. So Westlake moves into Thousand Oaks territory on the play.
Big gainer that time by Winkler. Winkler's been doing that quite a bit this year as he just shreds tackler after tackler, and that's what happened. He was stopped about 3 or 4 different times and just keep on driving those legs forward. Got the first down and a lot more.
And Winkler looks bigger out there as he is only 5'10" and 171 pounds. As the ball's given inside to McNeil, and McNeil is stacked up on the play.
Jamin McNeil right there, number 31, had a dream game 2 weeks ago in homecoming. His last home game of his career for Westlake. Number 31, you see him right there, scored 4 touchdowns. What?
2nd and 8.
I tell you, that is a dream game. On your last home game of the season, wow.
And of course, everybody uses Thousand Oaks High School, Newbury Park, Westlake, and Thousand Oaks here.
District field in the way.
As Chop is back to pass, he's in a little bit of trouble. Gets the pass off as he was being heavily pressured by Jim Riding.
Chop did the right thing that time, finding a receiver but incompleting the pass. He threw it out of bounds to make sure the pass was not going to be intercepted. Very smart play by Chop. So they have a 3rd and 9 coming up now instead of a possible interception.
So Westlake will have a 3rd and 9 at their own 48-yard line of play. Big down for Westlake if they want to retain this ball. And Jamin McNeil gets the call, and he's going to pass the ball. And the ball is complete. So that running back option, he passes the ball complete to number 43, Bill Fiander.
That was a halfback option on the way. McNeil showed it real early that time. Was lucky he didn't get tackled from behind, but got away from that defender and then got around to complete the pass. Another big first down for Westlake.
So 1st and 10 for Westlake, who are now moving the ball. They are at their own, or at the Lancer 34-yard line as Winkler's going to carry the ball. And he's brought down in the backfield. In on the tackle for the Lancers was number 32, who is Tim Lasik. Also in on the tackle for the Lancers was number 64, Rob Bremer.
Lasik with a good tackle that time. Got Winkler by the legs and just shoved him down. You know that, Greg, the best way to tackle a person is below the waist.
You want to get those legs. You want to keep those legs from moving. As Chop's going to keep it himself. And a few yards in there as he's brought down by Tony Adamski and Brian Lorenz. Also in on the tackle was Jim Colvin.
Chop did a good job that time. The hole was not really there like it has been most of this game. But Chop was able to squirm through the teeny hole and get the big yards.
Let's go, Chop!
They got 4 yards to play, 3rd and 6.
Let's go, Miracle! Come on, man!
So 3rd and 6 for the Warriors. As Chop is back to pass. He's in a little bit of trouble. And the pass is well read and broken up by Ray Yokoyama and Jim Riding. The pass was intended for Bill Fiander. So Westlake will have a 4th down, 4th and 6 for Westlake. And it looks like they are going to keep that first team in, and they are.
Now this is where a kicker like Libonati comes in handy. If T.O. was in this situation, you know that Libonati would be going for the 3 points. It would be almost an instant 3 points. No other high school can really boast a kicker like Libonati, so no other high school would have to go for it in this situation because they're too deep.
So 4th and 6. As Chop is back to pass, being chased by Colvin, and he's going to be sacked on the play. So that is good field position for the Lancers as Colvin sacks Chop all the way back at the 44-yard line.
It's frustrating for Steve Chop as he starts off the field. You know, he's a little disappointed. He wanted to get that play off at least. He did not even get to run the play. That hurts on a quarterback's confidence. On a 4th down play, at least give me a shot to get that first down, but that time he didn't because of the great defensive play by Thousand Oaks.
So 1st and 10 for Thousand Oaks, and they've got 2 minutes to put it in that end zone. they're going to have to take to the air, as they do, and the ball is almost intercepted. It was knocked down by number 75, Dave Bailey. Couldn't hold on to it. Pass was intended for Ray Yokoyama. So 2nd and 10 for the Lancers.
Aguilar going right out to throw the ball on first down. First time they've tried to throw it on first down. Now you have a 2nd and 10 with 1 minute and 55 seconds left to play here in the first half. A very quick first half.
And if they want to go in the locker room with 7 points on the board, or even 3, they are still going to have to pass. They're not in Libanati's field goal range yet. Here's a surprise play. They hand off to Bill Shaw, and Shaw is close to that first down marker. Not quite, though, as the clock is going to keep running with just 1 minute and 43 seconds left, and they're going to have to hurry up and call a play here.
Well, they're going to have to watch that clock and play conservatively. What I mean by that is use that clock very conservative. There's the Westlake cheerleaders there.
So 3rd and 3. As Aguilar hands off to Lasik, and I'm surprised they're keeping that on the ground, but I guess they had to get that first down on the play.
Yeah, it's true, but the clock stops to move the chains, so they got the first down, so they're going to have to really hurry now, Greg. 1 minute and 14 seconds left to go here in the half. The ball's inside Westlake territory, but they got another about 15 to 20 yards for Libanati's range.
I guess they're going to try to get either pass the ball out of bounds and waste it down, or try to get in Libanati's field goal range just before the half ends.
Got all 3 timeouts left also.
So 1st and 10. Aguilar back to pass. And the pass is intercepted on the play. Intercepting the pass was number 20, who is Craig Campbell. But they're going to rule the pass incomplete. I thought he had an interception on the play.
He did, but as soon as he hit the ground, he fumbled it, and they discounted it incomplete, saying that he did not have possession of the ball for long enough. So Campbell drops the ball when he hit the ground. So
he's
Aguilar
gets
sorry
a big
about
break.
That one.
Yeah.
Aguilar gets a very big break. That was not a good pass whatsoever, even though Campbell did read that play. Aguilar's got to look off the receiver. He did not look off the receiver. He telegraphed his pass, and that's why Campbell was able to read it.
And he had a lot of pressure from that Westlake defense in there. They put on a big rush. As Aguilar back to pass once again, looking for Riding downfield, but the pass is overthrown. So 3rd and 10, and this is a big down for the Lancers, Jim.
Very big down. Riding was smacked after the ball went over his head. I don't think he was going to be able to hold on even the ball was there. He really got sandwiched hard. 3rd down and 10 coming up with 45 seconds left. To get some yardage. Coach George Contreras with the rest of his coaching staff there on the sidelines concerned right now. Of course, on the far sidelines is the Thousand Oaks team and their coaching staff. There's Aguilar.
So 3rd and 10. And this is a very big down for Aguilar in Thousand Oaks. As Aguilar's back to pass, he's being rushed, and he is going to be sacked on the play. In on the tackle was number 26, Harry Hadrian. So that was a big play for Westlake.
Big play, and you got to credit the Westlake defensive secondary for creating the whole play. Now, Westlake calls timeout because they can get something going here with just 30 seconds left. But you got to give Westlake secondary the credit on that play. Not a single soul was open, and Aguilar had some time to throw the ball, Greg.
And Westlake calls that timeout, but more importantly, they are going to get that ball.
That's the offense coming out to talk to his team for Westlake in the orange jacket. So their offense now inside Thousand Oaks territory has a chance to at least get 3 points. Puckett is their field goal kicker, and he is a decent field goal kicker. He can hit from outside. We've seen him do it this year a few times.
What do you think about the fake punt attempt here, Jim?
The fake punt?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a possibility, yes. Wow.
I faked you out on that one.
Yeah, you did fake me out of it. I was thinking, well, they do have some time, I guess.
Guess not.
All right, they didn't do it.
Possibility, anyway.
I was thinking maybe the coach came up with something.
As the ball goes out of bounds about the 24-yard line, where Westlake will take over. 1st and 10.
So now Westlake with 19 seconds left. will get the ball back, but they got a long way to go, Greg. They have 2 timeouts left. Chop's going to have to come up throwing if they want to do something now. We have to wait and see if they want to do it. They might just run the clock out. We'll have to wait and see.
And if they want to do something, they should try that big play that scored the touchdown.
This is the last play.
And they're going to try to keep it on the ground as Jamin McNeil has got some room up the sidelines. And they do have 2 seconds left on the clock, so they can run one more play. They got a first down and a lot more on that last play. They are up to their own 39-yard line. 1st and 10. And what do you think they'll try on this play, Jim?
Well, you can either just run the clock out and go into halftime with a 7-0 lead, or you can go for desperation time or whatever, just throw the ball up for grabs. They do not have wide receiver split twins, so they might. No, they're going to throw.
And Chop's going for it all to McNeil, and the pass is well overthrown. And that's the first half of play with our score, Westlake 7 and Thousand Oaks nothing. And we will return with the second half in just one moment. Thousand Oaks will kick off. Of course, our score is Westlake 7 and Thousand Oaks nothing. And Darren Libinati is set to kick off. And Westlake will receive from the left-hand side of your screen. What do you expect here in the second half, Jim?
Well, we got to see Thousand Oaks coming out to do something definitely. As for Thousand Oaks offensively, they haven't really done much. The one offensive threat they did have, they fumbled inside the 20-yard line. So really, if it wasn't for that, Thousand Oaks would have had a tying score, but instead the Westlake leads it by a lone touchdown, 7-0. By far, this game's not over whatsoever. Only 7-0. Again, we talked about it earlier, Greg. The one big play has scored, and that's what Westlake's tradition is, one big play.
Of course, Thousand Oaks had that sustaining drive in the first half, and it all ended on a Bill Shaw fumble. So Darren Libinati set to kick off, and Thousand Oaks hopes the second half will go a little better than the first. Gets a nice kickoff. And Brandon Rowe gets up to the 27-yard line. Tackle on the play was made by number 19, Norm Kenyon. So 1st and 10 for Westlake at their own line of play. And we'll have to see what that Westlake offense can do, led by quarterback Steve Chop. And, of course, that big play in the first half was to Scott Winkler. And the handoff goes to Bakos. Bakos has got a lot of room in the middle. And he just tears up that defense of Thousand Oaks. Okay, that was Bill Iverson, I'm sorry, on the carry. And Iverson was tearing up the middle of that defense. And once again, Joe Iverson carries the ball. Tackle on the play was made by Tody Adamski. Gain of about 5 on the play. 2nd and 5 for the Warriors.
Iverson with 2 straight carries right now. Gained quite a few yards, about 20. See if he can come out doing it once again. Let's see if he's a workhorse. Remember, McNeil is also an excellent runner. He's in the backfield.
Iverson carries the ball up the middle, and he's got 3 or 4 on this play. Tackle on the play was made by Brian Lorenz. Also in on the tackle for the Lancers was Tim Lasik. 2nd and 2 for the Warriors. And Steve Chop carries the ball, good for the first down. On the merits of that offensive line. He's tackled on the play by Lasik. Also in on the tackle for the Lancers was number 31, Tony Paez. So 1st and 10 for the Lancers.
So Westlake right now threatening once again. They've had the big runs. Chop has not yet thrown here in the second half. He's only thrown a couple of times in the first half, 2 times to be exact. They do everything on the ground.
1st and 10 for the Lancers as they give the ball to Winkler. And Winkler's got some running room in there. He gets up to the 10, 5, and in for the touchdown. So Winkler has scored both touchdowns of the evening.
Both on big plays too, Greg. It looks like Westlake, you see George Contreras, very happy George Contreras on the sidelines. Westlake has scored twice on big plays, once by the pass from Chop to Winkler, this time on the handoff to Winkler. Winkler going 40 yards for the touchdown. Westlake leads it 13-0 with 9 minutes and 56 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And again, that big play off to the left-hand side as Puckett's kick is up, and it's good. Westlake rolls out to a 14-point lead with 9:56 remaining in this 3rd quarter of play. And that's got to add some confidence to George Contreras as well as those Westlake players.
Well, a lot of confidence indeed, but now you got to take a look at Thousand Oaks. They have to do something offensively. I think it's very, very important, almost the utmost important thing here in this game is for them to get on the scoreboard here in this drive. If Westlake can deny them here, it's going to really set them back mentally.
So Thousand Oaks is hoping for a good return as Puckett is ready to kick off. Gets a line drive kickoff again, and the ball Caney. Caney fumbles on the play. Westlake might have it. And they do have it. So Westlake gets a big break as Scott Bowman recovers a fumble. So Westlake will have a 1st down at the Thousand Oaks 26-yard line, and they are knocking at that scoring door once again, Jim.
Well, another mistake by Thousand Oaks, their 2nd fumble of the game. Both fumbles being recovered by Westlake. Turnovers cost you a game. It looks like it might do it here against TO, but this game's not over yet.
As Chop is back to pass, being chased by Colvin. He gets the pass off, and it's over the head of his intended receiver, who was Steve Bagley. Covering on the play for the Lancers was number 41, Mark Tyndall. So 2nd and 10 for the Warriors.
Chop did a good play that time looking at the receiver. He looked at McNeil. McNeil was wide open in the flat on the left side of the field. Chop did not want to go to him. He was thinking touchdown the whole time. And he went down there, but the pass was just overthrown. Good thing indeed, because he was well covered.
So 2nd and 10 at the 26 as the ball is given to Iverson. And Iverson just tears up through the middle that time as he's finally brought down by Tyndall. But Iverson is getting some good yards up the middle there, and it might be on the merits of his offensive line in there, Jim.
Offensive line made a good play. They opened the hole up very, very big, but it was also a good play by Steve Chop, because after he handed it off to Iverson, he went through the 2nd fake on an end around to Winkler, and that's what opened that play up. A lot of defense went for that 2nd fake.
And Winkler, the ball carrier, off to the left side. As you can remember, that is the same play that scored that touchdown. So Winkler gets a fair amount of success on that last play as he's down by number 64, Trevor Richmond. Gain of 1 on the play. 2nd and 9 for the Warriors. So Westlake defense, when it comes down to it, they are being ultimately tested right here. As the ball is given to McNeil, and McNeil is going to be driven out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. Tackle on the play was made by Mark Tyndall.
McNeil's been awfully quiet today. They haven't really given him the ball as much as they usually do. The ball carrier today has been mostly Joe Iverson. McNeil getting a chance to run that time, not much. We'll have a 3rd down and 7 coming up.
So 3rd and 7 for the Warriors, who are at the Lancer 10-yard line and knocking at that scoring door once again. As the ball is handed off up the middle to Joe Iverson, and Iverson is by Brian Lorenz. Gets about 4 yards on the play. 4th and goal to go from the 6-yard line.
They're going to go for it, Greg. They're not going to go for the field goal. They're going to go for the touchdown. They have a 14-point lead with just 8 minutes left to go, so they're going for broke.
We'll have to see what Steve Chop can do on this one, as he's going to keep it himself. And it looks like Thousand Oaks held him. He could have got a first down on that play, but they're signaling that he didn't. So Thousand Oaks comes out lucky on that one, Jim.
Well, they did come out luckily. I don't understand that play whatsoever. I guess what George Contreras was thinking of was they catch Thousand Oaks defense off guard by trying an up-the-middle play. You've seen Westlake do that quite a bit this year. They did that 2 weeks ago on homecoming night. In fact, Chop gained 45 yards on that play one time. So I think they were hoping to do the same thing there. Did not work. So Thousand Oaks gets the ball back deep in their own territory, 1st and 10.
They are at their own 4-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Lancers. So they're going to have to get this ball out of the hole. As handoff up the middle. And Shaw gets nothing on the play as he's stacked up by that defensive interior of Westlake.
The way the players reacted for a second, I thought there might be another fumble. I was saying, oh, no, not again. But it did not happen, so we'll just have a 2nd and 10 coming up. No gain on the play.
So they are not going to be able to try that play up the middle too many more times, at least on this series. That's exactly what Westlake was looking for on that last play. Aguilar might have to pass it out of this hole. This time he gives the ball to Letu, and Letu is tackled in the end zone for a safety. So good defensive pursuit by Westlake. In on the tackle that time was John Weissman, along with number 75, Dave Bailey. And that offensive line of Thousand Oaks was like a sieve that play, Jim.
That didn't work whatsoever. Well, Westlake, they get 2 points out of it. They were trying to get the 6 points out of it, but they get 2 anyway by not getting that first down. The defense, once again, shows they are superior here in the Murray League. They have yet to be scored on today.
The most important thing about that safety is that Thousand Oaks will have to kick the ball off.
Westlake scores and gets the ball back. That's the advantage of a safety, advantage of a very good defensive line that Westlake has. They're going to get the ball back here, and they'll get it in fairly decent field position because they're going to have to kick the ball off from their own 20-yard line instead of the 40-yard line like they do on a kickoff. Let's see if they punt the ball. They're going to kick it. They have their choice on the safety kick.
Well, it looks like Franks is in, so that will probably be a punt. So he will have a free kick from his own 20-yard line. He gets the kick off, but there are all kinds of whistles.
Tell you what, Franks nailed it too. That was an excellent kick, but it's too bad. Have to wait and see what the official call was. I got a feeling the referees did not signal the ready sign yet, and that's what they're talking to Franks about. If there is a call here, we'll wait.
Franks is not used to kicking off, waiting for that ready signal because he's the punter.
I know. Okay, they're not going to back up whatsoever anymore. Here's McNeil, number 31. He's a deep man for Westlake. The man right now on your screen, number 29, Bill Wiley. And there's Franks, number 80. He's going to be doing the punting.
As McNeil and Bakos are back deep. Nice punt. Gets off to McNeil. Westlake working on a return, and McNeil's got some room up the middle. He's at the 40. He's at the 35. He's at the 20. And he's in for the touchdown. So Westlake worked a beautiful offensive play on that play.
Well,
they had that all lined up. I could see it forming. They had all the blockers in a line, and then McNeil ran around that line to get to the sidelines, and with that outside speed, he made that touchdown.
McNeil, with a burst of speed, he's got legs incredibly fast. He looked like he was going to go right up the middle, and it looked like that's what was going to happen, go up the middle and just take as many yards as he can, but suddenly cut to the outside where the line formed, as you said, Greg, and boom, he was gone for the 6 points. So Westlake leads at 22-0, going for number 23 right here. Pocketed in field goal formation.
And Westlake has definitely put on a show in the second half of play. as John Puckett is in to kick the extra point. And the kick is up and good. So with 6:37 remaining in this third quarter of play, Westlake has put a lot of points on the board. They have a 23-point lead, and Thousand Oaks has nothing so far.
Well, Thousand Oaks hasn't really run that many plays here in the second half. They've only run 3 plays. In the second half, Westlake has scored twice and got a safety in the second half, and Thousand Oaks has only run 3 plays.
You've got to be worried about that Thousand Oaks defense. They might get a little tired out there.
Well, they have. They're going to get tired the way things are going right now. But you're just not going to win games that way. You only run 3 plays, and when you run only 3 plays, the opposite team scores 16 points on you.
So Puckett, who has been kicking those line drive kickoffs and spoiling turns, kicks another one.
That ball's wide. No, okay, they're going to
And Bill Shaw is going to down it in the end zone. I thought he might have touched that ball, but he didn't, as Shaw downs it in the end zone.
I thought that ball was live. I agree with you. I thought it did touch it. Well, T.O. gets a break. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. They've got to get something going here. They got another quarterback.
And in at quarterback is number 19, who is Norm Kenyon. He is the junior quarterback. So let's see what Kenyon can do. We haven't seen much of him this season. Aguilar has been able to do nothing all night long, as the ball is given to Letu, and Letu gets about 2 yards on the play before he was brought down by Craig Slavin. So 2nd and 8.
That's an interesting number for a running 90. Took me a while to look that one up. There's a Westlake defense, and they're responsible for quite a bit of the 23 points that the Warriors have scored tonight.
So 2nd and 8. As the handoff is given to Ray Yokoyama, and Yokoyama gets that first down and a little bit more. You might be able to hear all of the Westlake students chanting, "We're number 1." They do have a 22-point lead, but it's a little premature to be calling that out right now.
Well, they have cinched already at least a co-championship in this Miramonte League. If T.O. wins this game, come back to win it, T.O. and Westlake will share the championship. That's the way the CIF rules it. There isn't like the Pac-10 does it, where if you beat a team and you ended up the team that won the game between the will take first place. That's not the way the Miramonte League and the CIF does it.
So the ball is given to Shaw, and Shaw might be short of that first down, as we had a 3rd and 1 situation. A nice tackle on the play was made by Craig Slavin.
They got the 4th down, they're going to punt. And Greg, in this situation, I'd just gone for it. I don't care how deep you are in this end zone. 4th and 1, you should pick up that 1 yard. They're not going to, it's actually only a half a yard.
Especially when you have a 22-point deficit.
Yeah, a 23-point deficit. I would have gone for the first down. I don't care how deep you are in. Let it all hang out right now. You got nothing really to lose.
Backus is back deep to receive. Frank gets a nice kickoff to Backus, who is backing up to his 25-yard line. And he is going to be tackled on the play by Jim Colvin. So nice defensive pursuit on the play.
Plus a flag has been thrown right at the tackle, so we'll have to wait and see what that call is. God, that was a really beautiful punt that time. Franks can really put the ball up. Got a clipping call against the Warriors. So they're going to move the ball back another 15 yards.
That was a 45-yard punt that time by Franks.
That's a pro punt.
That was a nice punt.
So there you see the call on the screen, clipping against the Warriors, so they'll start 1st and 10 deep in their own zone. TL defense has got to come up strong here.
So 1st and 10 for the Warriors. As Jim was saying, they're deep in their own territory. The ball handed up the middle to Iverson, and Iverson doesn't get much as he's tackled by that interior of Thousand Oaks. And on the was Lorenz and Mike Cochran. Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd and 8 for the Warriors. And the Warriors are definitely in the driving seat right now as they have a 23-point lead in their back pocket.
You say something?
And
hey,
the ball
Winkler,
goes up the middle. That time it went up the middle to McNeil.
Thank you.
Clock is running, Greg. 3 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in the third quarter. And Westlake now is faced with a 3rd and 6 situation. Chop waiting for the play to come in from number 12, Dan Sifferman. And they're going to call it right away. Very quick call by Chop in the huddle. So they got to hurry. They might get called here or delay a game.
So 3rd and 5 for Westlake. Hands off to Winkler, and Winkler's got that first down, and he might go all the way. He's got one man to beat. Looks like he might go in. He's at the 10, 5, another touchdown for Westlake. So Westlake can get explosive at times as Winkler is in for his 3rd touchdown of the night.
Well, Winkler's having a type of game that McNeil had 2 weeks ago on homecoming night. Wow, Westlake can explode at will. They just say, we're going to have a big play, and they have the big play. They laid it out 29-0, and they're going to go for the 30 points right now. 2 minutes and 51 seconds left. They have scored 22 points here in the third quarter.
So Westlake has definitely dominated this third quarter of play. As Puckett's kick is high enough, and it's good.
You talk about dominating, Greg. They've scored now 23 points here in the third quarter. They've scored 23 points while Thousand Oaks have only run 6 plays. So Thousand Oaks run 6 plays. Westlake scores 23 points, and that's how you recap your third quarter so far.
And that was the same play that scored the last time, and the same player.
That's true.
As Winkler carried around that left side and went all the way in for the touchdown.
A lot of speed. You got to know also that Thousand Oaks defense is mentally demoralized right now, so.
As well as probably physical, being in the whole third quarter. That's a long time to be in, especially as Westlake was passing a few times. So that's a long time for a defense to be in. So we'll have to see if that Thousand Oaks offense, if nothing else, can stay in the game for a little while, get some kind of drive. As the kick is a line drive kick once again. It's bounced off of the hands of Hamilton to Ryder. And Riding gets up to the 29-yard line before he's finally brought down by number 49, who is Johnson. So 1st and 10 for the Lancers with quarterback Norm Kenyon in the game. And they are at their own 30-yard line of play. I guess if you're the Lancers, Jim, you're trying to wonder about next week's playoff game.
Yeah, that's exactly what. If you're Bob Masello, you're just thinking about next week right now. That's what's important, not really this game.
As Kenyon fumbles the snap from center, and it's recovered by Westlake. So Westlake is getting all the breaks here in this third quarter of play.
And I want to add a little bit what I said about Coach Bob Masello thinking about next week. If you think about just next week instead of thinking about tonight too, you're going to get a little sluggish, Greg, and you don't want to get your offense and defense sluggish and demoralized going into that big playoff game next week. So they're going to have to get something going in the fourth quarter, if anything, just to get some momentum carrying themselves into next week's game.
So 1st and 10. As a new is in the game for Westlake, and Joe Iverson gets up to the 5-yard line. So Iverson and the rest of this Westlake High School offense is just running all over.
Grand Prix is the new quarterback for Westlake, number 11, Jim Grand Prix. Oh, wow.
What a third quarter of play, huh, Jim?
They're going for more.
So 1st and goal to go at the 5-yard line as the ball is given up the middle this time to Iverson once again, who is tackled by Lorenz. And you might be able to hear that tom-tom drum for the Warriors, who are trying to score again.
I like to see them put in Winkler for one more play, see if he can get his 4th touchdown. It'll tie a record that McNeil had 2 weeks ago. Winkler's not in. I'd like to see him get in, though. See if he can score that 4th touchdown.
And McNeil gets in for the touchdown. He broke about 3 tackles on the play. And that was good running by Jamin McNeil.
That's McNeil's 2nd touchdown. So we got a couple guys having a chance to get a lot of scores. And there's Jamin right there. He comes trotting off the field, and wow, Westlake leads it 36-0.
Talk about dominance.
Remember a couple weeks ago, Greg, that Westlake was having trouble offensively? Because I think it was
Coach Contreras was kind of worried about it.
Well, right after that, Westlake scores 51 points on homecoming night. They get 40 points last week, and now they got 36 points this week so far.
And make that 37 points as Puckett's kick is up, and it's good. So with 1:07 remaining, Westlake has a 37-0 lead. And oh boy, this 3rd quarter has turned some tables as Westlake came out with only a 7-point lead, and they have put 30 points on that scoreboard. So you've got to give a lot of credit to this explosive offense of Westlake, and it's kind of an off and on thing. You know, when they get on, they are really on. And I don't think they were on the first half, but they figured out that George Contreras might have had a little talk with him, and he might have figured out some weakness in that Thousand Oaks defense.
Well, right now, their offense and defense is playing good. They're shutting out T.O. They've scored 37 points so far today. So they put it all together today, offensively and defensively.
And the kick goes this time to Letu, and Letu gets up to about the 36-yard line. And again, Puckett has kicked the ball on the ground, and he has just baffled those receivers on the kickoff for Thousand Oaks. They'd like to have a good return, and they haven't been able to get a good return all night.
No, they haven't. 53 seconds up to go. The ball is on the 36-yard line, so now Aguilar is the quarterback. He's back in the game.
So Aguilar back in at quarterback for the Lancers. 1st and 10. As he's back to pass, he had his tight end up the middle complete. He had it complete, Art Lopez, but the ball was overthrown by about 5 yards.
Now Lopez was wide open, and Aguilar just released the ball too early that time.
That would have been 6 points for Lopez.
Yeah, they had a little quick-looking slant play, and it was open. No connection on the pass. Thousand Oaks has got to get something going here so they can have some momentum going into next week's game. Forget this week. Tomorrow is or next week's the big game. Anytime you play a playoff game, it's do or die.
So 2nd and 10 as Aguilar is again back to pass. And the ball is closer to the Westlake defenders on the play. It was intended for number 83, Kurt Dwarfler.
Aguilar not showing much confidence back there in the pocket. That time he was stutter stepping and kind of shot putted the ball out there. I've seen him play a lot better than this. He, for the young kid he is, not playing as much quarterback, say, as, you know, some other players have, you know, in this Miramonte League, coming off the bench and playing the second half of the season after Mitch Black got hurt. But Aguilar not showing much poise tonight whatsoever. Very nervous back there and shot putting the ball, feet moving.
So 3rd and 10, when we'll have to see if this Thousand Oaks offense can get anything on the ground as well as the air, as Letu carries the ball and doesn't get that first down. He's about 7 yards short as he gains about 3 on the play. But Jim, as we were talking before, Thousand Oaks just needs to work out a few of these offensive inconsistencies, especially not for them, but in particular for that game, the playoff game next week.
Yes, and we don't know who they're going to be matched up against yet. The CIFs will have their pairings announced next week, early next week. So Westlake and TO and Newbury Park will know who they'll play midway through next week.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter of play with a score Westlake 37 and Thousand Oaks nothing. And as we were talking about this game a little earlier, Westlake has come out like gangbusters in the second half. Either they had a real good pep talk, or someone gave them some pep pills for this 3rd quarter of play.
We don't want to say that, Greg. We have enough of that in the National Football League. We don't want to say that here in high school. But 37-0, definitely something has pepped them up. I'd like to talk about next week a little bit. CIF, Westlake will be matched against a lower team, you know, one of the low-ranked teams in the playoffs, because they have such record, they'll be 9-1 going into the playoffs with a 9-game winning streak. Their only loss of the season was against West Torrance, and they are currently ranked #1.
And I was talking to George Contreras before the game, and Contreras was saying that he didn't think his team played well against West Torrance, and it was a very close loss.
Yeah, very true. And I think they have really give them a shot the way they're playing right now, late in the season.
As Franks gets a beautiful punt off, Bakos falls for the fair catch at the 21-yard line, where the Warriors will take over 1st and 10. And talking about West Torrance, like we were saying, it was a very close loss for Westlake, but it's been 10 weeks now, and Westlake is definitely a better ball club, and of course, so is West Torrance.
Well, now West Torrance game, well, it was 21-8 was the actual score. Westlake came back to win their first game against Lompoc 8-0, and that was not a very good game. But after that game, they have started to come on strong. So I think if Westlake would play West Torrance right now, it'd be a big different story.
As Peter Weingartner carries the ball. Gain of 9 on the play, 2nd and 1 for Westlake, who has their second string in, led by number 11, Jim Grand Prix. So Westlake is still moving the ball here in the 4th quarter of action. Little bit of movement, as you saw somebody on that Westlake offensive line get off the line a little bit too quick.
It was also a broken play after that.
That was Steve Bagley.
You see the backup quarterback right there, number 19, Kenyon. He's also a defensive player. He's out on the field playing defense right now. Go back to Westlake's record. Well, let's talk about something else. I tell you what, let's talk about the record between these two teams. The series between these two teams is tied 1-1. Westlake defeated TO 1980 21-6, and TO defeated Westlake in 1981 24-12.
Fumble on the play, and Westlake recovers it. The ball carrier on the play was Henry Hagen, but Westlake recovers, and the play turns out to be a big gain as they get up to the 42-yard line.
You're going to see a lot of the second stringers play now. Coach George Contreras giving them a chance to play. To recap a little bit of Westlake's season, again, their defense or their offense came on strong 2 weeks ago against Camarillo. They scored 51 points, and last week scoring 42 against Royal.
So 1st and 10 for Westlake as the ball is handed off up the middle. Didn't fool too many people on that defensive line, as the ball carrier was number 26, was Henry Hagen. Gain of about 3 on the play, 2nd and 7.
This is kind of hard for us too, Greg, to present a view. We broadcast both these teams as our home teams, you want to say, Newbury Park, Westlake, and Thousand Oaks. We wish both these teams the best in the CIF, plus Newbury Park we want to do it. We'd love to see one of our 3 teams come on top and possibly play in the semifinals of championship games of the CIF.
Well, Contreras was talking about his team, and he thought his team could definitely go 3 or 4 rounds, and he said, who knows, maybe he might go to the playoffs. And of course you will get that interview after the game and see what he thinks about his playoff hopes. As Grand Prix is back to pass, he's in a little bit of trouble, and he will be brought down about the line of scrimmage. Tim Lasik was in on the tackle. So 3rd and 7 for the Warriors.
Got to say that Westlake has improved very much indeed. Last year in 1981, they finished 3rd in the Marmani League and was 4-2 in league play and 5-6 overall. This year, wow, what a turnaround! First place, 6-0 in league play and 9-1 overall. After this game, that is.
3rd and 7 as the ball is handed off up the middle. Bakos was the ball carrier. No gain on the play. So 4th and 7 will be the situation as Westlake sends in the punting corps. And in the punt, the ball, of course, is Aldero Lavin. Back deep to receive for the Lancers will be number 41, Mark Tyndall, along with Jim Riding. So we'll have to see if Lavin can Good kick as you see that banner, Westlake pronouncing they are number one, and of course they are the league champions if they can hold on to win here, as Jim Riding carries the ball. Doesn't get much, gets up to about the 27-yard line. So Lancers will have a 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line of play. And of course, as Jim and I were talking, Thousand Oaks just needs to get some of those offensive inconsistencies work out, especially before this playoff game.
And that's what they want to do right now. For them, I think if I were Coach Bob Musella, I'd say let's try to win the 4th quarter. And that would be a big up for Thousand Oaks. That's why they got Aguilar, the starting quarterback, back in.
And the ball that time is handed off to Riding.
Talk about a little bit of Thousand Oaks High School. Last year, 1981, they finished in 1st place. And they had a league record of 5-1. So almost a flop for these two teams from last year to this year.
And they will finish in 2nd place probably this year.
Yeah, they will. They already have 2nd place clinched. So they'll drop to 2nd place this year from last year. They have a record of 4-2 in league play.
2nd and 4 as Aguilar hands off up the middle. And carrying on that play was number 25, who is Chris Smith, or Charlie Smith. And Charlie gains about 1 yard on the play. 3rd and 3 for the Lancers. And this is a big down for them, even though they have a 37-point deficit. They'd like to get that 1st down just to prove to, if no one else, just to prove to themselves that they can get that 1st down. As Aguilar's back to pass, he's got Franks upfield, but the pass is underthrown. Franks dove for that pass as he was covered on by number 12, who was Dan Sifferman.
Thousand Oaks, through their years of history, their first year, of course, 1962, have won 7 league championships, 1964 and 65, then 3 in a row, 1972, 73, 74. They won one in 1976, and of course last year, 1981. So they know how to win football games, that's for sure.
And Franks is back to kick. Gets a nice kick off to Bakos, and Bakos will receive the kick about the 25-yard line.
I'm really impressed with the punting of Franks. He's done a great job punting the ball tonight.
And that was a 41-yard punt.
He's been punting the ball over 40 yards all day today, and there is an all-CIF punter, in my opinion, done a great job. So you have a great punter and a great field goal kicker on the same team. And a lot of coaches say that games are tied to special teams. Greg, I think you being around coaching as long as you have, I think you know that as well as I do.
Well, of course, Cal Lutheran is always concerned with their specialty teams, and on the specialty teams, you get players that don't normally get to play in the game, but they might be good specialty players. A perfect example of that is Hank Bauer, who plays with the San Diego Chargers. He used to play with Cal Lutheran, and he was drafted as a running back, but now all he does is play on those specialty teams, and 3 years in a row, he has won NFL Specialty Teams Player of the Year. So there's a perfect example of a guy who only 5'11", making it into the big leagues and just becoming a specialty teams player. So a lot of these guys that never get to play on the regular offense get on specialty teams. And that time carrying the ball was number 26, who is Harry Hedgen. And of course, that specialty team is very important.
You know, also on the special teams in high school, too, a lot of players will say, hey, I'm demoted to special teams. You know, I'm not that good of a player. But that's wrong. I think that special teams are the most important positions on a football team. And I think that's the type of attitude a coach has to instill into these type of players.
As Grand Prix keeps it on the option play, he could have optioned off to Hagen, but he doesn't. He keeps it for himself as he gained about 2 yards on the play. 3rd and 5. We have about 6 minutes left in this ball game as Westlake is just trying to run time off this clock.
And that game was won. They don't want to injure anybody. Neither does Thousand Oaks. Both these teams going to playoffs next week do not want to get any key players hurt.
And this time Bakos carries the ball and he gets a nice run. He gets up to the 43-yard line on that play. And more importantly, he got a first down, and he keeps that clock running. 5:53 remaining, and they will start the clock once again when they move the chains.
Grand Prix number 11, he'll be the starting quarterback next year for for Westlake, as Chomp will be graduating.
Hagen carries the ball, gets about 3 or 4 as he's brought down by Lorenz, along with number 79, Steve Dietz. Gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 for the Warriors.
This side of the field, Greg, is very, very fired up. The crowd very festive right now, as starting to celebrate just a little bit early here, but you know, Westlake people love to celebrate in style.
And Hagen carries the ball once again, fairly successful. Nice crowd on hand for tonight's game, and Thousand Oaks has got to start celebrating also, because they are going to be in the playoffs. They can't look down, and they can't be down, because they have a lot to look forward to being in those CIF playoff games. So 3rd and 3. As Grand Prix falls down on the play, he loses about 3 yards on the play, and he is going to be all the way back at the 40-yard line. So a 4th and 6 will be the situation, as Westlake is going to have to punt the ball away. Lavin is in to do the punting, and Writing and Tyndall are back at their own 25-yard line to do the receiving. It's a nice punt off, and calling for the fair catch is Tyndall, and he calls for that fair catch at the 25-yard line.
A very festive crowd indeed right now here on the Westlake side. George Contreras getting all his players a chance to play, and same for Coach Bob Musella too. 37-0, Westlake leads it. Thousand Oaks put the ball in play, 1st and 10, ball on the 27.5-yard line.
And of course, Jim will have an interview with Coach George Contreras after the game.
In fact, I'm going to leave in about 30 seconds to go make sure we get that.
Steve Garcia, the ball carrier. Tackle on the play by Bill Feander. So 2nd and 7, the situation for Thousand Oaks. And it's all academic right now, as time is running off the with just about 3:35 remaining. Thousand Oaks has a 2nd and 7 situation at their own 29-yard line. Aguilar calling long signals and pitches the ball off to Garcia, and Garcia is stacked up. In on the tackle was Dan Sifferman. Loss of 1 on the play. 3rd and 8 for the Lancers. Just a little bit over 3 minutes remaining in this football game, and Westlake has showed that offensive dominance that they have been showing all season, that big play. And of course, the player of the game for Westlake has got to be Scott Winkler. 3 touchdowns for Winkler in today's game. Aguilar back to pass, and he overthrows his receiver down, who is number 21, Mark Speeman. So a 4th down situation arises with just 2:40 remaining in this ball game, and Thousand Oaks is going to have to punt the ball away. So Thousand Oaks has not shown much in the way of offense, but then again, you've got to give credit to that Westlake defense. And Thousand Oaks is not a bad football team, even though they've been routed today, as Franks fumbles the snap, and he's going to take it himself. He might get that first down, and he does. So nice play action by Franks, who got a low snap from center, had to pick it up, had no chance to kick it, and ran to the left-hand side and got that first down. So you've got to give a lot of credit to Franks for his quick thinking on the play. First and 10 for the Lancers. They are at the 49-yard line. What they'd like to do right now is score a touchdown, so they won't have the hurt of that shutout. Aguilar audibling on the line as he is back to pass. He's going to take it himself. He sees a hole up the middle, and boy, is there a hole as he gets up to the 31-yard line, finally brought down by Craig Slavin. First and 10 for the Lancers at their own, or at the Westlake 31-yard line of play. And the Lancers are finally moving the ball. A little bit late, but as Jim and I were talking about, they'd like to get that offensive consistency down for next week for the all-important CIF playoffs. And of course, we wish Thousand Oaks well in next week's playoff game. As Aguilar's pass is well broken up on the play. Broken up on the play by number 22, John Martin. Nice play by Martin. The pass was intended on the play downfield to number 83, who is Kurt Dorfler. So second and 10 with the clock stopped at 1 minute and 43 seconds. As Jim Ossola will have our interview with Coach George Contreras, and he has got to be very happy with his offense as well as his defense, holding Thousand Oaks to nothing so far. Carrying on the play for Thousand Oaks that time was Garcia. Garcia gets about 3 yards as he's brought down by Slavin. Third and 6 for Paul Aguilar. And the clock is again ticking off. About 1:10 left to go in this football game. And Thousand Oaks is driving. They are at the Westlake 26-yard line. And Aguilar slips and falls on the ball. He fumbled on the play, but the ball was ruled dead as his knee hit the ground. It hit the ground about the 30-yard line. So in the game again. Well, let's see if the field goal. Well, the field goal unit will be in. So this will be a 40-yard field goal attempt for Darren Libinati. And Libinati has all the power and strength to put that in. As Libinati's kick is up, it's distance. It was short by just about a yard. It had the height, but not the distance. So Westlake will have the ball at the 20-yard line, first and 10. And of course, as you can see the stands here, that's right in front of our broadcast booth. Someone set off some kind of smoke bomb in the stands. Probably some Thousand Oaks students disappointed about the game. Stuff isn't too fun to breathe in here. We need a fan. Doesn't smell too good either. Anyway, rain, sleet, or smoke in the stands, we will do a football game, as that's the end of the football game. With the final score, Westlake 37 and Thousand Oaks High nothing. And we will get an interview in just a few moments. Jim Ossola is trying to find Coach George Contreras down there. As you saw again, the smoke in the stands. Doesn't smell too good, not too good for the eyes. But hey, it's not bothering me. As you see the cheerleaders of Westlake High School. Boy, what a football game Westlake put on. They came out in that third quarter and scored 30 third quarter points. So Westlake really dominated this game as Jim Ossola is about ready to interview Coach George Contreras.
Well, we're here with Coach George Contreras immediately following this game where Westlake has wrapped up their first league championship in their history. Coach, right now, your feelings?
Good, but this is our third league championship in 4 years.
Oh, with the Marmonte League, I should say.
It's our second one in 3 years with the Marmonte League. We're very pleased with the effort of our kids, especially in that third quarter. We came out and we felt that we had to really get things going because Thousand Oaks played a very, very fine first half against us to keep us within 7. So, again, I'm just pleased with the way the kids performed. We came out that second half and did some things extremely well, and it's nice to be a champion again.
The third quarter, wow, everything just broke open right away. What happened there?
Well, we just started to execute our offense, and we've had really good play in our kicking game all year long, and we did well. I think the big thing in our game tonight more than anything else was we felt that Thousand Oaks had one of the finest defensive lines in our area this year. Big challenge for our defensive line to come up and play against them, and I thought the kids really responded to that challenge and played an excellent game and controlled the line of scrimmage throughout the game.
Now, how are you going to get ready for next week?
Well, first of all, we'll look at our films tomorrow morning and review them with the kids tomorrow so we can get this game completely behind us, and then we'll go down to the CIF office on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, and we'll find out who we play then. And now that we're the league champion, we'll have the first round game here at home next Friday night, I would assume.
How far do you think you're going to be able to succeed in the playoffs? You have an excellent overall record. Your only loss was to West Torrance at the beginning of the season. What's your whole views from that first loss of the season, the 9 straight wins, and how far you think you can go?
Well, needless to say, we're on a roll. Our defense has been playing outstanding football, and they played a great game tonight, and our offense has now scored, 51, 42, and 37 the last 3 games. So I think we're improving and peaking at the right time of the year. So I have a good feeling. I think this team can go places in this league, as playoffs this year. So it'll be exciting.
Now also, one last question. You got to love this fan support in this last game.
Oh yeah, well, it was a big. When you're playing your crosstown rival, it's for the league championship. People get pumped up, and when you're 9-1, people get pumped up about that too. So it was an exciting win, and I'm glad for the fans. They've been supportive all year long.
George, congratulations on your league championship, and good luck next week. We'll be there.
Thank you very much.
Coach George Contreras here as league champions of the Marmonte League here in 1982. I'm Jim Osler for Greg Shep. Once again, the final score here from TO, the Westlake Warriors 37, the Thousand Oaks Lancers 0. Have a pleasant good night.